Dear colleagues, this is an almost unedited video of clear lens extraction with IOL implantation for acute angle closure glaucoma. This patient had an attack of acute angle closure glaucoma 10 days ago and he received all anti-glaucoma medications, but intraocular pressure is not controlled. IOP before medication was 60 mm of mercury, and with medications it has come down to 40 mm of mercury. YAG PI could not be done because of very shallow anterior chamber, so I have planned clear lens extraction with IOL implantation in this case. Let us see the surgical steps. By this time the main incision 2.8 mm has been made, and this is a side port incision on the left side of the main incision. And now one more side port incision is made on the right side of the main incision. Now air bubble is injected into the anterior chamber. I want to stain the anterior capsule of the lens, of the clear lens, because the cornea is steamy, is lustreless, and unless I stain the anterior capsule, it will be very difficult for me to do capsular access. So I stain it quite well, quite intensely. In cataracts, I don't use dye so long. Now I wash the dye out. The antechamber is very shallow, so I don't go into the antechamber. I remain at the incision, near the incision, and wash the dye out. Now I inject viscoelastic substance. Now the side port on the right side was very small, so I enlarge it a bit. And now I take a 26 case bent needle, so needle cystitome, to incise the capsule, and in this case I am using the same needle to do capsular access because the antechamber is very shallow. Now I'm going to apply viscoelastic substance over the epithelial surface of the cornea so that visibility becomes better, and it has become better. Now I continue with capsular access. With needle, I take a little longer time to do capsular access. The access is done. This access is adequate. Now I do hydrodissection. Fluid wave is passed from one side, it has gone to the other side. Do hydrodissection some more on the other side. Depress the nucleus. And now I try to rotate the nucleus. But see, it's not rotating nicely. So I inject viscoelastic substance, and I have planned to sculpt out some lens matter. Again inject visco, and then try hydrodissection again. Here it is. The tip of the Phaco handpiece is introduced. Bevel down, it is made bevel up, and now I make it bevel down again. Since there is very little space in the antechamber, I directly enter into the lens matter, sculpt out some lens matter so that I get some space for work, some working space. And now I come out, I inject visco again, and again I do hydro. Here it is. Hydro dissection is done again, and this time see what happens. The nucleus rotates freely. Now I inject viscoelastic substance again and again enter into the eye with the Phaco handpiece. This is a soft cataract and I have planned hold and tilt technique. Hold the nucleus with vacuum, tilt it, and yes, I have been able to tilt the nucleus. Here it is. And I start emulsifying the lens matter. Now see, the lens has tumbled. So it has become hold and tilt and tumble. The lens matter is emulsified and it's taken out. This is the last bit. That's it. The nucleus, that means the lens has been removed, the clear lens. Now I inject viscoelastic substance, little bit from this side port and some more from the other side port. And now I take 23 gauge Simcoe cannula to remove the cortical matter. One can use bimanual IA to remove the cortical matter. I also use bimanual IA, but in this case I am using 23 gauge Simcoe cannula. Now I go through the side port to remove the cortical matter from 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock. Now I go through the other side port to the right side port to remove the cortical matter from 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock. That's it. The cortical matter is cleaned. Now I inject viscoelastic substance, that is HPMC, into the antechamber and inside the capsular bag. Here it is. HPMC is injected into the antechamber and it inflates the capsular bag. Now this is a hydrophilic acrylic intraocular lens being implanted in the capsular bag. The leading haptic has gone into the bag and see the trailing haptic. It is depressed with the chopper and it goes into the capsular bag. Now I want to dial the lens so that I can go behind the lens and remove the viscoelastic substance from the capsular bag. This is how I dial the lens. There is a gap in the haptic. I go to that gap and dial the lens. Now the lens is in such a position that I will be able to go behind the lens. Now see what I am doing. I am pulling the iris. The iris actually it has dilated and it has gone to the angle. The root of the iris is actually clumped and it has blocked the angle, and there is no drainage of aqueous humor. So whatever medication we use, it is just to reduce formation of aqueous humor, so that formation of aqueous humor is reduced. Drainage is totally blocked. I have done clear lens extraction for angle closure glaucoma earlier, about 3-4 cases, and all are doing well. The intraocular pressure becomes normal next day. And now I start removing the viscoelastic substance. There's lot of SPMC in the antechamber and in the capsular bag. I flush the viscoelastic substance out. That's it. Viscoelastic substance has been removed nicely. Now I'm injecting some trams nolan acetate in the antechamber. The idea is I'll wash it out, but some amount of trams nolan acetate will remain in the antechamber, and tomorrow morning I will get a quiet anterior chamber. So I'm washing out the trams nolan acetate, and some particles will remain in the antechamber, and it will keep the antechamber quiet. Now I am pulling the iris. I am holding the pupillary margin with vacuum and pulling it little bit so that the block at the angle is gone. So by doing surgery in such cases, we actually treat the cause of the block. If we can do PI in some cases, even then the drainage site is blocked by this clumped iris. So hence trabeculectomy is required. But if we do clear lens extraction and retract the iris towards the center, the angle will open and the patient will have normal intraocular pressure next day without medication. This is pilocarpine. Pilocarpine is being injected under air. Some moxifloxacin and pilocarpine has been injected. Now I'm going to hydrate the side ports. The side ports are hydrated. And now this is the final wash. So it is a long surgery and we have to be very patient. Patience and meticulous work is the key in such cases. We cannot hurry up. We have to have patience and we have to pray for the patient also. We must pray to the Almighty for the well-being of the patient. We must be very sincere in our work and we can get excellent results in this way. So the antechamber has been formed. I'm checking if there is any leakage or not. There is no leakage. Now I check the intraocular pressure. It is fine. And now I inject a little bit of dexamethasone and conclude the case. Thank you very much for watching. Hope this video will help you in developing your practice.